Mercedes caused a stir in Texas for many reasons. Lewis Hamilton almost got his first win of the season. George Russell carried on his habit of hitting other cars and then blaming them for it. And the team brought a new front wing which instantly caught the attention of the entire paddock. While Red Bull have been trying to bend the financial regulations, Mercedes are doing the same to the technical regulations with this wing. Are they just bending the rules though? Or is this just straight up illegal? Let's check it out. Unless you were paying very close attention to all of the coverage from the United States Grand Prix, you may not have noticed Mercedes' new front wing. And that's fair enough because they didn't actually run with it. We can't all find the time to watch every practice session and read all the news and listen to all the podcasts. I know I certainly can't. They only had one copy of the new wing with them in America, and it wasn't suited to the track at the Circuit of the Americas either. It is meant to be used in Mexico on the 28th, 29th and 30th of October, and they only had it with them because they were optimizing freight space. You might question why they showed an updated front wing to the entire Formula 1 world when they didn't intend to use it. And you should, but we'll come to that later. First, let's talk about why this new wing created so much stir over in the States. There are two very obvious changes to the wing's design. Firstly, the stopgap separators have changed. These little parts are designed to hold the separate planes of the wing in place to stop them moving under load. A small change but a very significant one, as I will explain later. Secondly, the front wing end plates have changed design, specifically the small fins that sit right at the bottom on the outside edge. An even smaller change, but nonetheless very significant again. The reason that these small changes attracted so much attention is what the intention of the change is. When you update an F1 car, you try to make it faster or more reliable, but by Mercedes' own admission, these changes don't really do that. But what they will do is create more aerodynamic outwash, something that the current technical regulations have tried really hard to reduce. While the FIA is trying to reduce aerodynamic outwash, our sponsor today is trying to reduce global warming. Established Titles are an incredible company that's preserving the natural woodlands of Scotland and helping with global reforestation. This amazing last-minute gift makes you the owner of 1 square foot of land in Edelston, Scotland, and Established Titles plants a tree with the global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. Saving the planet is obviously amazing, and the FIA might care less about Mercedes breaking the rules if they were saving the planet as well. But this gift grants the recipient something even cooler than that. There is an old Scottish tradition of calling landowners lairds, which is lord or lady to those of you who don't live in 15th century Scotland. By gifting someone land in Scotland, you give them the right to call themselves a lord or lady, and they get a certificate to prove it. Sir Lewis Hamilton sounds okay, but Lord Lewis Hamilton would sound way better. Maybe we should get him one. Anyway, you can add lord or lady to your credit card, plane tickets, or even your paddock pass at the next F1 race with this gift. The first 200 people who purchase a title pack using our link will get their plot pretty much directly next to mine. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a lord now, and I expect you to refer to me by that title in the comments. This isn't just an amazing last-minute gift, we could also start our own little Scottish kingdom. Established Titles is actually running a massive early Black Friday sale right now. Plus, if you use the code F1 Reverse, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/F1 Reverse to get your gifts now and help support the channel. Maybe Toto could get one for Mohammed Ben Sulayem to get him to take Max's 2021 driver's title away. Right, back to Mercedes' new front wing and its aerodynamic outwashing. Remember how the FIA said there were 4 main aims for the new technical regulations? It's okay if you can't tell me what they all are, but a very important one was that they wanted to make the racing closer. And to do that, they carefully wrote the regulations to reduce aerodynamic outwash as much as possible. The previous generation of cars used to make loads of horrible, dirty, messy, turbulent air behind them that really messed with how the cars performed. It stops you following too closely to the cars in front of you, reducing wheel-to-wheel racing and overtaking opportunities. Getting cars racing closer together is so important to the new rules that there is a clause in the rules that says if the FIA thinks your upgrade stops that happening, then they can declare them illegal. The Mercedes wing design appears like it would create more aerodynamic outwash for 2 reasons. Firstly, it is those stopgap separators I mentioned earlier. The new wing features more of them between the top 2 elements, And they've also changed shape. The old design had 3 of them in a hoop design. The new design has 5 of them in a very distinctive fin design. How they are shaped tells us that they are designed to take air away from the body of the car and direct it outwards, towards the front tires. Here, the air will meet the air coming off the tires and create an aerodynamic mess behind the car. The new end plate does something similar as well. The winglets have been reshaped to move the air to the outside of the front tire, stopping it from hitting the tire and instead creating more aerodynamic mess behind the car. Remember, aerodynamic mess is bad and discourages close racing. Something that no F1 viewer wants. But that isn't the only thing that's making everyone question the new wing's legality. The slot gap separators have to be, and I quote part 3.9.8 of the technical regulations, for primarily mechanical, structural, or measurement reasons. In certain parts of the regulations, rules do specifically say that parts can only have certain functions. Like wing mirrors, for example. They have to be only for seeing behind you, not for aerodynamic gains. What Mercedes are doing is jumping on the grey area of the word primarily. Are the new wings stopgap separators there for mechanical, structural, or measurement reasons? Absolutely, they're holding the different wing elements in place. But is that their primary function? Well, who knows? Mercedes will tell you for legal reasons that it is their primary function, but they're hardly unbiased. From what the experts are saying, and what we can see with our own eyes, this new front wing's legality is questionable at best, and at worst, just blatantly not allowed. Clearly, the FIA have had some words with Mercedes about the wing though, because the team have been talking about making some changes to be allowed to race with it. Team principal Toto Wolff was asked explicitly if he could explain what needs to be changed for it to be used in Mexico next week. Wolff replied, "Well, I could, but I don't want to go in the detail because we're thinking of running it, and we had an exchange with the FIA. So maybe we need to tweak a little bit here and there, but it's not yet decided." Mercedes haven't been shy about hiding the fact that the new stopgap separators had an aerodynamic benefit. It's so obvious that no one would believe them if they said there wasn't. But they are being purposefully vague about what the benefit may be. Mercedes technical director Mike Elliott commented in Austin, "Clearly, there's a secondary benefit of an aerodynamic design, but the regulations in this case do not state sole purpose, but primary purpose. So I think there's an argument to be had. Whether we want to have it is another question." While you might think that checking the legality of upgrades they've built and shipped would be a priority for the team, Elliott said that the team had not spent a lot of time thinking about it during the US weekend, but would do in the days before Mexico. "Personally, I think we could argue them," he said. "But the question becomes whether we want to or not. The gain for those bits is so small. Is it worth the risk of falling foul of the stewards?" This is some clever wording from Mike Elliott. The parts probably don't give Mercedes a massive boost in lap time. He isn't lying there. But the change does look like it will reduce the quality of the air behind the Mercedes car, making it harder to stay close behind them and overtake them. If you can't upgrade your car to make it go faster, then what about upgrading your car to make the cars behind you go slower? It probably isn't a design avenue that's high on the priority list at Mercedes headquarters, but this is F1, where every millisecond counts. If you can reduce your rival's performance by 0.01% by making a change to your car, then you're going to do it. The last question to answer is why show the wing at the Circuit of the Americas when they weren't going to use it till Mexico? Well, maybe they were expecting this kind of reaction from the paddock. They knew people would question its legality, so they showed it a week early to give them time to argue the point with the FIA. If this was Friday FP1 in Mexico, the FIA might just ban it straight away because they wouldn't have time to sit down and discuss it. In the era of cost caps, the fact that Mercedes have designed, built, and shipped a wing means they have every intention of running it in Mexico, and believe they can talk their way out of any questions given enough time. Did they ship one wing a week early out of convenience? We don't think so. It's just a smart move to buy them some time. Will they be able to run it in Mexico? Well, we don't think so either. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.